Happy Friday, good morning. Jeanine Hurd, live from Turkey, broadcasting to you the newest money frequencies that are out here in this beautiful, beautiful country. And I wish you guys would have my view, because I'm just looking at the ocean and it's so calm and peaceful today. It's really, really insane. It's so beautiful. Good morning, Julia. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Own It. Sometimes the Instagram names are just so funny. Good morning, Simone. Good morning, Jeanine. Beautiful name. Good morning, Claudia. So cool that you guys are catching me live on Friday. And also let me know later if you're catching the replay. Say hi. Don't be a weird neighbor that's just watching without saying hi. Don't be a weirdo. Oh, Ria. Good morning, Ria. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Beate. You and me these days, spending all the time together. Guys, I hope you're ready. I would love to have some honest, real talk with you. If this is not your vibe this Friday morning, maybe watch this live another day. If you feel like, okay, I'm ready for some real talk. Love it. Good morning, Daniela. I feel honored. Julia. If you're not ready this Friday morning for real talk, then maybe watch the replay another time. Because I've been contemplating a lot why I started this business and what was always super, super important to me and what was not. So I think this is pretty obvious, but I think sometimes, at least for myself, I gotta remind myself over and over again, why did I start this business? What is my intention? And also, what is not so valuable to me? And when I started my business, what was super important to me was always, or let me reframe it. I never asked myself the question, how can I have the most people in my business world? I never asked myself, okay, how can I help 1 million female entrepreneurs? This was never something I've asked myself. Gotta be completely honest. However, what I've always asked myself was, and still is, the people that are showing up in this community, no matter if it's on a live stream, if it's in the paid programs, my one-on-one, my mastermind, whatever. I always ask myself, how can you actually have the fastest and the most insane results? It was always and still is for me all about taking action, and not just taking action, but actually receiving the results you desire to have. Maybe it's more time, working less, making more money, having a different impact, whatever it is. Whatever it is. And this is always what my intention was when I started this business, for my community and the results I desire people having. For myself, obviously, I always ask myself, how can I make more money? Like as a business, how you obviously ask yourself this question, how can you make more money? How can you sustain? How can you grow? How can you scale? And I never ask myself, gotta be completely honest here, how can I grow my following? It was never really important to me, or I focused on a big audience, as in like, oh, this is something I desire to have 1 million followers on Instagram. It's just something that was never on my mind. I always focused, because it was simply important to me, who's my ideal buyer? Who's my ideal customer? How can I serve this customer? And every person that already shows up in my community, how can they have the greatest impact or change in their life? Those were the questions still today which are important to me. And I'm not saying this has to be the same for you, because we're all different. And for someone, it's very, very important, and it's a deep soul desire to have a huge audience. And maybe not so many people that buy from them. Or maybe it's both. Whatever it is. So why am I sharing this? Of course, we are doing the community lives every Friday for you. So I can share some insights with you. I can give you whatever is on my mind, whatever is on your mind, and we see if it's a match. And we talk about it. And yesterday I asked, hey, is there anything on your mind? And let me tell you, I received a lot of questions. A lot of questions. And I was obviously reading through the questions. I'm like, this is so interesting. This is so interesting. And they were really from all sorts of life. How can I improve my relationship? How can I receive more clients? How can I sell more? How can I sell my high tickets on social media? Feminine, masculine energy. How can I trust more? I don't understand. Sometimes I feel the fear in my body. How can I release it? Just literally all kinds of areas. And now the real talk starts. So that was my big warning. And the underlying undertone of every question was, I'm just asking a question because I have the chance to ask a question, but I do not care about the answer. I'm repeating. The underlying undertone of a lot of questions was, oh, here's room, space, I can ask a question, I can put my drama here, and actually I don't care about the answer. The underlying undertone was, oh, it's just important for me right now to share my personal, I labeled this, judge it as drama, yeah? Different areas of life, business, personal, And why is this so important to address here? I could answer all of the questions. It's not about this. But think about it. How is that valuable for you and for me and for us, the community? Not so much. You're asking a question, but you do not care in truth about the answer. You are not able to receive the answer. And I wanted to bring some awareness to this by checking in the question I'm asking. And if I'm receiving an answer, an honest answer that really would help me change my situation right now, would I actually be acting on that advice? I'm repeating. You're asking any kind of question. Maybe you submitted a question before. Okay, now go back and ask yourself, okay, the question that's on my mind, how can I sell more? How can I create better coaching programs? How can I be less fearful? How can I make more money? How can I be more in my feminine energy? How can I be more intuitive? Whatever it is. Now ask yourself, honestly, if I'm receiving the answer now, and I would also say if I'm receiving an answer I don't like, am I still listening to the answer? Am I still reflecting? Am I still acting? And for most of you, the answer, unfortunately, till yesterday, was no. And that's okay. And it's so interesting because we've been trained just to ask questions for, oh, I have a question, I'm important, I gotta share something. But this is not a Q&A. A Q&A is, I have a question and it's a desire that's burning on my heart for a situation in my life I truly desire to share, and I am able to receive the answer. Because most of you are always asking me, hey, how can I stop chasing the money? And I love it when you say like how you make fun of people cold DMing, reaching out, chasing customers, money, especially online. How can I do this? How could I train myself to be like this? Like, I shared this the other day in my mastermind. It's been very, very, very insane about this, because I've launched my new mastermind in October and the one in January, because, yeah, I just had the impulse to launch both masterminds already. And I quickly announced it on my newsletter and in 1 or 2 stories here. Both of them almost sold out completely within 48 hours. There was more than 300,000 dollars in cash, which, I mean, to me is mind-blowing, is insane. Without chasing, just saying, hey, this is what it is, this is what you get. Let's talk a little bit where you're at. I just desire to see if this is you, if this is a good fit for the group, and so on. And if that was the case, people received the booking link and they booked. No chase, no nothing, no following back with people, hey, do. Why? Because I can receive energy, I can receive intentions, I can receive money, I can receive everything that's for me. And that's a super valuable skill. And in order to get to the point to receive money in larger amounts like I'm doing now, obviously it was not the case when I started, not even close to, because I was one of the biggest chasers. I'm coming from investment banking. Dude, there's no room for receiving. It's a chase. The faster you chase, the better. Push. And I always thought it's normal, it's standard, because it was the only thing I saw. So learning to receive more and stop the chase was very uncomfortable. And it starts, if this is a skill you desire to improve, and I know it's true for a lot of you, because the question of not chasing and receiving more, especially when it comes to money, is a question I get asked probably every single week. When I'm doing the Q&A sticker, it's more or less the same question as every single week. So I know it's super relevant for you, but it starts with the simple things. Can you actually receive an answer to a question you're having? You're just asking the question simply because, oh, I have personal drama and I actually don't care about the answer. And some of you already said, hey, I'm guilty of this. And there's nothing wrong with it. However, what's so important, and this is how change happens, and this is why we're having those real talk conversations every Friday, because the moment you're having awareness for something you're doing, you can change it. And this to me is why mentorship is so valuable. We're having later in the business foundation, in the blueprint, we are talking about the blueprint for 100 continuous 100K month. And it's so insane because all those things I'm sharing with you, I became aware of them because I've been working with a mentor, in the beginning a coach, later a mentor, for over 5 years. Why? Because there's magic that happens when we're in conversation, when we're becoming aware of our things. And for me, it's always so important. I've been always in mentorship with people in a business perspective that made much more money than I do. Why? Because I deeply believe that the amount of money we make belongs to a certain frequency. And if someone made more money than I am, it's not so much that I desire to make as much money as the other person, but I deeply believe they're on a different frequency, meaning They can see my own self-sabotage. They can see my own drama, the stories I'm telling myself, which I don't see, because they're simply on a different frequency. And this is, for instance, something, you would do this, have a coach, have a mentor by your side, if you're truly invested in your goals, in your dreams. And this is the second part I wanted to talk to you about. If you do an honest check-in, are you actually invested in what you desire to achieve? Are you invested? Let's say this year you desire to make $1 million with your business. Are you invested in that? Maybe you desire to start a coaching business at all. Are you invested in that? Maybe you desire to manifest a new partner. Are you invested in that? And for most people, when we're using the term, or when I'm talking about are you invested, you think like, oh, I should buy a program. And it's not like this. Invested means, am I asking for help? And am I receiving the help I'm asking for? This is being invested. And yes, obviously, one form is, okay, I can be invested in a program. But this to me only means you paid for a program that eventually is beneficial for you to receive that goal. You're still not invested. Invested because I'm talking from experience. There are programs I'm invested in, and there are programs I simply paid. Meaning, I paid for an online training, I started and I stopped and I didn't do any of the tasks. Who is guilty? This is not a form of investment. This is simply, I bought something. Invested means you buy a program, you watch the program from start to finish, you repeat watching the program, and you're actually doing the task. Why? Because you truly desire to receive a different outcome in your life. Why do I keep showing up in especially close proximity mentorship? Because it's still my goal to make 150 million. I have no clue how. So I'm learning more and more about business foundation for an organization that can make 150 million. Learning a lot of new skills before I'm even close to making this amount of money with my coaching business at the moment. I'm learning about the energetics, how to hold more energy. I'm learning about the mindset of people. I'm learning from people that have a 9-figure mindset. But those are all the things I'm doing before I'm acting. This is like, I personally feel I've never invested so much in the version of me that desires to make 150 million. Just by purely now, especially this year and last year, receiving the answers for the foundation I'm implementing right now that are necessary to grow an organization to that level. If you ask me about my short-term goals, first of all, I don't even check how much money I make every month. It's just there. I also have no monthly goals. I don't even have by now annual goals. I have milestones I want to reach to get to 150 million. But you already see the conversations we're having are becoming very different. And one is just about the me. I just want to place my current drama. Versus the other one is really a conversation we're having about the goal. And it doesn't matter in this conversation when the goal is happening. So if I'm not going to be here and saying like, oh, If I don't make 150 million this year or next year, I'm gonna stop. No, I'm annoyed. I'm gonna move to the next thing. I'm invested in this goal, meaning no matter how long it's gonna take, I'm gonna build this. This is something I've received from my soul. My soul desires to grow a business to a size that makes $150 million in revenue. And I'm building for this, and I'm aware that it takes time. It's like any amazing villa or mansion you see out there. It takes much longer to build than a 1 or 2 bedroom house. But most people are not willing to be invested over a longer period of time because it's different reasons. Short-term gratification, it's all about, oh, but I gotta have this money now. I gotta have this money this week. I gotta have this money by the end of the month, by the end of the year. Another reason. Then, second reason, for a lot of people, they just feel comfortable. I'm like, oh, if I just have a 1, 2, 3 bedroom house, oh, it's nice. I like it. I don't need something more. Average is fine. For me, and this maybe sound hard, already as a kid, I was always disgusted by average. My first podcast was called No Time for Average. This was, if I see how the average person lives, there is literally how the average person lives, thinks, treats themselves, the conversation average people are having, the food average people are eating, there's how they travel, how they live, the clothes they wear. There's literally nothing not nothing, but a lot of things I simply don't desire. There's no attraction. I'm seeing it and I'm like, it's not me. Everyone can live the way they desire, but there's nothing I think, oh wow. Very often there is almost nothing I think, wow. I've never been in my life to a 3-star hotel and thought, oh wow, this is so much nicer than a suite or presidential suite in a 5-star hotel. I haven't. It probably exists out there, I just haven't seen it. For me, already as a kid, if I look back, I just always loved having the best things out there, the best possible things. And if you're a mother and you have kids, you see the same behavior. You see how your kids, first of all, they just take what they truly desire, and most of the time it's the most expensive thing. It's not so much about the money. It's just really about how we are actually as human beings. We just desire the best for us, no matter what that means. That means something very different for all of us, and it's beautiful. But always allowing yourself, okay, if I just desire an average life, then the conversation, an average person doesn't even make 10K a month. So I'm just kindly saying my community is probably not the best community for you if you don't desire a life that's above average. I think the average person in Europe makes about 40K a year. Most businesses don't make $1 million. And that's okay. Because in that zone, it's all comfortable. It's easy. There's no growth. It's just comfortable. I do my thing. I'm not invested. Not with my heart, not with my soul, not mentally, not financially. And you see this when people are not invested, and we're not talking about the money, just really with your soul at this point. You don't care. You don't care about the content, the post, the coaching. It's just a transaction based on money. The only thing you care is receiving the money from someone else. And in my eyes, this is a way it's not a nice way to build a business in which you're not invested. And I deeply, deeply, with this Friday talk, No, invested means, first of all, am I daily doing something for this? So let's say you're here because you desire to sell online. You don't know how to sell online to clients, no matter the price. Okay, are you invested? Meaning, are you every day learning, doing something for this? Are you reading books, podcasts? Are you having coachings? Are you having a coacher by your side? How much feedback are you receiving every single day on the topic you truly to get better? Because think about, when you're born as a little kid and you desire to learn to walk, the same desire. A kid that's here and they desire to walk, they are trying every single day, no matter if they fail or not, they keep going. Watch a kid learn to walk on a single day basis. And now ask yourself, okay, so this kid is obviously really invested in doing more, learning, improving, and is really willing to walk no matter what. And now ask yourself, okay, how often during a day, how much time, this is now, am I invested in learning how to sell more, how to sell online, whatever it is? And are you keep going even when you fail? You keep showing up no matter what. You keep trying even when you failed. This especially means like, oh, let's say people are saying, oh, Julia, your content sucks, the way you sell your programs, oh my gosh, I hate it, it's terrible. This is like a kid falling and falling when they start learning to walk. But they don't care, they just get up, maybe they cry, put a band-aid on, they don't care, and they keep going. How are you? Are you gonna show up the next 2 minutes afterwards, 5 minutes later, or are you gonna be invisible now for days, for weeks, for months? How often are you actually selling? So, and this is what I mean with invested. If you would see my time, this is actually a term, framed. He sees like, I just can tell how much you invested with your whole life into that version that really desires to learn how to make 150 million with their business. And it's true. Like, I'm getting up, I'm reading, I'm doing my meditation, so I'm in the mindset, I'm doing my breath work, whatever it is, I'm doing my workouts, I'm showing up for my business, I'm showing up for potential clients, I'm showing up for my team, I'm showing up for the clients I have, I'm showing up for my one-on-one clients. And then the rest of the day, I'm showing up for myself to learning new skills. And although I already made by now 13 million in the last almost 5 years by the end of the year, which I think is insane, I'm still at this point where I'm like, oh wow, there's so much to learn and to master for 150 million. So for me, there's no room to stop. There's no room to doubt. There is no room not to show up. And this does not mean, still, for instance, on the weekends, I'm almost offline of social media. I don't like to show my face. It's really, I feel like it's something my soul desires. So I'm really taking this time also to recharge, like, yeah. But every day I'm invested in my goal. I don't doubt my goal. I'm not in and out. And I see so many people that try to master to build a business, that try to master making 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures, is no matter the money. But I see it's like, oh, they're invested in the beginning, and then we are having a conversation. You don't like too much, I'm out. And this is not being invested. You know, think about it. If you are investing on the stock exchange, let's say in shares, very often you're not going to make money by investing in a share for a day Oh, let me take out the money again. Oh, I put it back in, out, in, out, in, out. But you invest, you are invested for a couple of years. And then once the stock grows, over time, you take the money out. And very often, not even the full money, just a little bit. But for most of you, unfortunately, till yesterday, because now you're getting different awareness, you're not invested. You're a little bit in, oh, out, it's uncomfortable. In, yes, I desire, but not too much, it's uncomfortable. And you're wondering why nothing's building, why nothing's growing, or why it's not building as fast or not growing as fast. And also I desire to be very clearly, it doesn't mean now, because some people then ask, okay, so I always got to say yes. To everything, just say yes. It's a good way to start. And to most of the things and opportunities that are happening in my life, I'm just saying yes. And still, when I feel not a hell yes, it's a no. So there were also times I first said no, and then afterwards, a couple of weeks or months, especially with coaching, I felt like, okay, it's a hell yes. It's coming from my soul, it's in my body, it's a yes, and then I invested. So to sum up for today, really, really do a check-in. When you're asking a question, no matter if it's asking a question here on the Q&A, if you're asking a question to the universe, your guidance, hey, ask yourself, if I'm receiving an honest answer, and no matter if I will like or not like this answer, am I actually willing to receive this? Am I willing to receive the answer? Meaning, I'm like, okay, I'm listening to it, taking a deep breath. What does this mean? Okay. And then I'm contemplating what that actually means, particularly to me. And the most important step, how am I going to act now? How am I going to act now? How is this answer changing? How does this answer help me? Because in every answer we receive, I'm repeating, in every answer you receive, there's always a gift for you. And the thing is, let's say I have a gift for you right now. It's here. It's coming to you. But you're looking to the side the whole time. You don't see the gift. So to see the gift also means, okay, wow, I'm opening up. I'm opening up. And I'm willing to see the gift here. And this is, I would say, a tiny, tiny, tiny little majority of the people out there are willing to do this. Because they're willing to receive and take the gift when they like it. Meaning it's comfortable. Okay, someone's just confirming, oh yeah, you're having a hard time. Oh yes, the economy is so bad in Europe. They're taking the dramatic gifts. But the gifts which are out of the comfort zone, which make you contemplate, think, which create an awareness to you, it's not. Next step, we talked about, so this is about opening up to receiving. Because if you can't even receive words, dude, you can't even receive clients or money. There's no difference in the universe and what we receive. The frequency of receiving is the same. So if you don't master receiving in one area, it's very unlikely that you will master receiving in a different area. I haven't seen it at all. Gotta admit, I haven't seen it that, that one masters receiving in one area and not at all in another area. Because once you have the awareness, you have the awareness. It's like, it's just there. And the other part we talked about today is, are you really invested? Are you invested in your goal? Or are you in and out? Meaning like, oh, today I like it, I'm putting down €1. Tomorrow I don't like the stock, I'm taking it out. Tomorrow I'm putting €1 in. I don't like it anymore, take it Today I like my coach because she said something I think is cool. no, I'm not. I'm unfollowing her now. She said something I don't like. Okay, let me go back. I liked again. I'm gonna follow again. It's like this constant in, out. Or are you actually capable? And this is something we see in relationships so often. People only invest as long as a relationship is good and they get from the relationship exactly what they desire. But the moment, very, very, very often in today's relationship, it's uncomfortable, I don't like it, I'm like, okay, bye, I'm leaving. Our mind goes to this, something is uncomfortable, and instead of, hey, can I deal with this? Is there maybe a gift for me? Is there something, okay, I can reflect, I can see? It's like, okay, bye, I leave. And because also the word consistency, I feel, means something different to everyone. But for me, it's invested. And it's not so much consistency, because for me, consistency, I feel it's like something has a vibe of, oh, okay, I gotta do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm sticking to the plan, and I don't have this. I don't have this consistency. It doesn't come very natural to me, very easy. Like having a schedule and doing the same things over and over again, I sometimes feel a little bit blocked in my creativity. But I always can, for me, and maybe this helps some of you, I can do an honest check and I'm like, okay, am I invested? Is this still something important to me? Is this something I truly desire? Is this something I thought I should have or do? And there was a lot I was able to clean and cleanse in the beginning, because I thought a lot of the goals I should have because society taught me. But it's just not who I am, and I think it's wonderful. Yeah, so to sum up, are you willing to receive the answers? Are you invested? Maybe it's a word consistency, whatever it is, what resonates with you. Also, different words have different frequencies. They resonate differently with us. Always look for something like, oh, okay, I see the point. I see the point Jeanine is trying to make here. And what's a word that resonates with me, to make sure. Someone also uses the word anchored. I'm anchored on my goal. Yeah, really see like what resonates with you. And this is beautiful, because you become closer and closer to your own truth, to your own authenticity. And I posted the other day, actually, I use this week quite often. It's like, be you, be true, and make millions. Because the moment you're there, be you, be true, the millions are automatically there. It's a very same frequency. It's a frequency that's very, very fast. Yeah. That's for today. We are complete. If you haven't signed up for the blueprint, training number 3 today, about 100K month, I'm really excited. It's going to happen in a little bit today. And then there's also going to be Q&A next week. And of course, there are still a couple mastermind spots left for the mastermind starting in October. Since it's happening mid-end of October, we're starting. There's only the pay in full option starting at $50,000. If you want to have a one-on-one option with this is going to be $70,000. And then there's also another mastermind starting at the end of January. Same pricing. However, since it's in January, there is the option for installments. So if you feel like, hey, I want to be the mastermind with you, I already want to be invested, and right now it just feels more comfortable for me to pay an installment, please reach out, because the January option is going to be perfect for you. And I love you. I will see you next Friday. And if you're not on the email list, get on the email list. The link is in the bio, because we're launching really insane new program. It's all about social media and how to sell to people actually on social media, how to talk to people that have money, that truly desire to work with you, to invest with you. So is the program going to be in October and November. It's all about social media selling, and it's going to be called the Premium Buyer. Because if there's one thing I've mastered insanely, it's how is this actually possible that I just say the prices I have for all the programs, no matter if it's from, I don't know, $500 to $450,000 for my one-on-one coaching, I just sell it here on social media without really a big sales page, and people buy. And I think this is very, very special. It's very unique. And if this is something you truly desire to learn, the premium buyer is going to be for you. And I'm sharing more on the email newsletter, and it's going to have a really cool early bird offer. So if this is something that resonates with you, get on the list, and I will see you there or somewhere else on the internet. I love you. Talk to you soon.